Like, I'm gonna drag your ass downtown.
Because like, I've heard things like this before, and
Right. I don't care, bro, if you have a weapon in there, if there's a knife or... What's that?
Please leave me alone.
Okay.
Please leave me alone.
What you are seeing right now, a uniformed officer harassing a young employee named Foster, is not just a grocery store dispute. It is a masterclass in presumed guilt. Look at the officer's body language. He stands tall, chest out, invading Foster's personal space. He has already decided, before asking a single question, that Foster is a criminal. He calls him an imposter. He claims he doesn't look like an employee. This is what we call unconscious bias. And while it's happening here in aisle 4 next to the yogurt, this exact same psychological failure is what destroys thousands of lives on our highways every year. When police arrive at the scene of a motorcycle accident, they often carry this same bias. They look at a rider on a sport bike and assume recklessness, just like this cop looks at Foster and assumes fraud. This bias is the #1 enemy of your insurance claim, and understanding how to defeat it is worth millions. Listen to the demand, "I need to see some ID." The officer is fishing. In the United States, under the Fourth Amendment, you are protected against unreasonable searches and seizures. Unless the officer has reasonable suspicion that a crime has been committed, is being committed, or is about to be committed, you do not have to identify yourself in many jurisdictions. Foster knows this. He asks, why? He holds his ground. This is critical. Most people, when intimidated by a badge, crumble. They hand over their rights. In a motorcycle accident case, this is equivalent to apologizing at the scene. Never say, "I'm sorry," after a crash. Never admit fault. Just like Foster refuses to hand over his ID because he knows he's innocent, you must refuse to hand over a recorded statement to insurance adjusters until you have spoken to a motorcycle accident lawyer. Why? Because just like this cop is looking for any excuse to arrest Foster, the insurance adjuster is looking for any excuse to deny your payout. Now the officer uses a dirty tactic. He says, "We got complaints from other employees." Later, we see the manager is confused. The manager didn't call. Who called? Likely nobody. Or maybe a Karen with a grudge. But the officer treats this hearsay as absolute fact. Police are allowed to lie to you during an investigation to extract a confession. They can say, "We have your fingerprints," when they don't. In the world of personal injury law, this is exactly how insurance companies operate. They will tell you, "Our investigation shows you were 20% at fault," or "Witnesses said you were speeding." They are often bluffing. They are trying to scare you into accepting a lowball settlement offer, pennies on the dollar of what you actually deserve. Foster doesn't bite on the lie. He questions the premise. He asks for the manager. He is cross-examining the officer in real time. This is the mindset you need. When an authority figure tells you, "This is how it is," do not believe them blindly. Demand proof. Things are getting dangerous now. The officer threatens to drag Foster downtown. He asks about weapons. "Do you have a knife?" The tension spikes. This is an attempt to provoke a reaction. If Foster gets angry, if he shouts, the officer can arrest him for disorderly conduct or resisting, even if the original stop was illegal. This is called contempt of cop. They create the crime they arrest you for. In traffic stops and accident scenes, this escalation is fatal. Imagine you've just been hit by a truck while riding your motorcycle. You are in shock. You have a concussion. The adrenaline is pumping. An officer starts yelling at you to move your bike or show your license. If you snap back, they write in the report that you were belligerent or intoxicated. That police report becomes the Bible for the insurance company. They will use it to deny your medical coverage. This is why staying calm, like Foster, is not just a safety tip, it's a financial survival strategy. Here is the moment of truth. The freeze frame moment. Foster reaches into his pocket. The cop flinches, expecting a weapon. Instead, Foster produces the gold shield. Federal Bureau of Investigation. The dynamic flips instantly. The predator becomes the prey. Why did the cop back down? Because the FBI badge represents a power greater than his own. It represents consequences. It represents a supervisor who will fire him. In your life, you probably don't have an FBI badge in your pocket. But you can hire something just as powerful. A top-tier California motorcycle accident lawyer. When an insurance company sees a letterhead from a reputable law firm, it's the same effect as that badge. They know they can't bully you anymore. They know they can't lie anymore. They know that if they act in bad faith, they will face a lawsuit that could cost them millions. The lawyer is your badge. Never go into battle without one. Let's pause the video and talk about what happens next, because this is where the money is. This officer is going to write a report. If Foster wasn't an FBI agent, that report would say, suspect was uncooperative, refused ID, acted suspicious. That report would follow Foster forever. In motorcycle accidents, the police report is often biased against the biker. Officers often interview the car driver, who is uninjured, and ignore the biker, who is being loaded into an ambulance. The report concludes, biker at fault. This is not the final verdict. Many people give up here. They think, the police said I'm wrong, so I get nothing. That is a lie. A skilled injury attorney knows how to tear apart a police report. They look for inconsistencies. They download the event data recorder, the black box, from the vehicle. They find surveillance footage from nearby businesses, just like this body cam footage. We win cases every day where the police report said our client was at fault, but the evidence proved otherwise. Don't let a piece of paper written by a biased officer dictate your financial future. What this officer did is not just a mistake, it's actionable misconduct. Foster can sue the department for civil rights violations, Section 1983 claim, unlawful detention, and emotional distress. Because the officer acted so egregiously, the settlement value skyrockets. In the insurance world, we call this bad faith. If you file a valid claim for your motorcycle accident injuries, broken bones, road rash, traumatic brain injury, and the insurance company denies it without a valid reason, or delays payment intentionally to starve you out, they are acting in bad faith. In many states, you can sue them not just for the accident money, but for punitive damages to punish them. This can turn a $50,000 case into a $500,000 case. But you cannot file a bad faith claim on your own. You need a shark. You need a lawyer who specializes in complex litigation and knows how to trigger these penalties. Notice how the officer played doctor. You look nervous. You look like you're on something. He is diagnosing Foster with zero medical training. Police do this at crash scenes too. They look at a biker who is dazed and say, he's drunk, when in reality, he has a brain bleed. They say, he looks fine, so they don't call an ambulance, when in reality, he has internal bleeding. This is why you never take medical advice from a cop. Go to the hospital immediately. Gaps in medical treatment are the #1 reason injury claims lose value. If you wait 3 days to see a doctor because the cop said, you look okay, the insurance company will say your injuries happened after the accident. Document everything. Your health is the evidence. As we watch the officer do the walk of shame out of the store, realize that justice was served here only because Foster was prepared. He had his credentials. He kept his cool. He let the camera roll. You must be equally prepared. If you ride a motorcycle, you are already a target for biased cops and distracted drivers. Equip yourself. Get a helmet camera, it's your version of this body cam. Get uninsured motorist coverage, it protects you when the at-fault driver has no money. And most importantly, have the number of a relentless motorcycle accident lawyer saved in your phone. Do not wait for the crash to find one. Be proactive. Because when the lights are flashing and the officer is yelling, it is too late to prepare. It is time to execute. Foster won his battle. With the right preparation and legal support, you will win yours too. Stay safe, know your rights, and never let them intimidate you. Now, if you want to turn a standard accident case into a life-changing financial settlement, you have to understand the concept of invisible injuries. Let's think back to the video. The cop kept telling Foster he looked nervous. He was analyzing his behavior. In a motorcycle accident lawsuit, the defense attorneys will do the same thing to you, but they are looking for something specific: brain injuries. A traumatic brain injury, or TBI, is the most valuable and most overlooked part of any motorcycle claim. You can have a normal MRI and still have a TBI. You might feel foggy, have headaches, or lose your temper easily. Insurance companies love to ignore this. They will say, it's just stress. But a top-tier motorcycle accident lawyer works with neuropsychologists to prove that your brain has changed. We prove that your quality of life has dropped. We demand compensation not just for the broken leg that heals, but for the personality change that never goes away. This is how a $100,000 case becomes a $1 million case. But you only get this if you have a lawyer who knows how to look for it. And while we are talking about surveillance and behavior, let's talk about the modern trap that ruins 50% of cases today: social media. Remember how Foster knew he was being recorded by the body cam? Well, after your accident, you are being recorded too, but in a different way. Insurance investigators will stalk your Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Let's say you file a claim saying your back is destroyed and you can't enjoy life. 2 weeks later, you post a picture of yourself smiling at a birthday party. Or you post a meme saying, "God is good, I'm blessed to be alive." The insurance company will print that out, blow it up on a poster board in court, and say, "Look, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, he isn't in pain. He's partying." They will use your own optimism against you. My advice? The moment you crash, you go dark. Delete nothing that looks suspicious, but post nothing. Do not check in at the gym. Do not reply to comments. Silence is value. Let your accident attorney do the talking. Another dirty trick you need to be aware of is the property damage distraction. This is psychological warfare. You are sitting at home, without a bike, frustrated. The insurance adjuster calls and says, "Good news. We are sending you a check for $15,000 to replace your Harley immediately. We just need you to sign this one document." You are happy. You want your bike back. You sign. What you didn't read in the fine print was that the document wasn't just for the bike, it was a general release for all claims, including bodily injury. You just sold your $500,000 medical case for the price of a used motorcycle. This happens every single day. They dangle quick cash in front of you to distract you from the real money. Never sign a property damage release until a motorcycle accident lawyer reviews it. We make sure the check for the bike is separate from the check for your body. Let's dig deeper into the deposition. If we file a lawsuit, you will have to sit in a room with the insurance company's lawyers, and they will grill you for hours. It's exactly like the interrogation Foster faced in the grocery store, but worse. They will ask about your past. Have you ever had back pain before? Did you have a speeding ticket in 2015? They are looking for pre-existing conditions. They want to prove that your pain is from an old football injury, not the crash. If you go into a deposition unprepared, they will trick you into admitting things that aren't true. But when you hire us, we prepare you. We role-play the interrogation. We teach you how to answer. We sit right next to you, and if they ask an improper question, we object. We shut them down. Just like Foster's badge shut down the cop, your lawyer shuts down the defense attorney. Now, we have to talk about the loss of consortium and family impact. Accidents don't just hurt the rider, they hurt the family. If you can't pick up your kids anymore because of your shoulder injury, that has a dollar value. If you can't be intimate with your spouse because of chronic pain or PTSD, that has a dollar value. These are uncomfortable topics, and the insurance company will never bring them up. They hope you are too embarrassed to ask. But a relentless injury lawyer fights for these damages. We bring in economic experts to calculate the value of your role as a father, a husband, and a provider. We make them pay for every single way this accident stole joy from your life. This is why settlements can reach such high numbers. It's not just medical bills, it's human damages. But here is the most critical warning of all, the one thing that can destroy your case regardless of how good your lawyer is, the statute of limitations. In the law, there is a ticking clock. In some states, you have 2 years to file a lawsuit. In others, you have only 1 year. If you are suing a government entity, like if a police car hit you, or a pothole caused your crash, you might have as little as 6 months to file a notice of claim. If the clock hits 0 and you haven't filed, your case is dead. It doesn't matter if you are paralyzed. It doesn't matter if you have video evidence. The case is over. The insurance company knows this clock is ticking. They will drag out negotiations, pretending to be nice, pretending they are processing paperwork, just hoping you wait until the deadline passes. Do not let them run out the clock. Hiring a motorcycle accident lawyer immediately stops the clock. We file the paperwork to preserve your rights forever. So, let's bring this all back to the video one last time. Foster walked away because he knew who he was, and he knew the rules of the engagement better than the cop did. The road is a hostile place. You are fighting distracted drivers who don't see you. You are fighting police officers who judge you. And you are fighting billion-dollar insurance corporations who want to underpay you. You cannot fight this war alone. You need a gladiator. You need someone whose only job is to extract maximum value from the people who hurt you. Don't wait until the medical bills pile up. Don't wait until the adjuster tricks you. Take action now. Do your research. Find the best motorcycle accident lawyer in your state, look for trial experience, look for big settlement results, and save their number. It is the cheapest insurance policy you will ever have because it costs you nothing until they win. Be smart. Be prepared. And if the worst happens, make sure you are the one who walks away with the victory, just like Foster. End of story.